Hello there, beautiful, and welcome back to The Dark Alchemist. In today's reading, I will deliver a little message, a short message from your spirit team about whatever you need to hear most right now. Before we get into the reading, I just wanted to take one moment and say sorry for being so absent in the last 2 weeks. I'm working on 2 really exciting projects for you behind the scenes, and I just wanted to monotask, basically. I just wanted to take 2 weeks to fully focus on that and give this one a huge push, because while I do love all of the readings and the Reiki and the EFT, it does take a lot of time to produce all of these videos, and sometimes it's nice to have this opportunity to work on something just uninterrupted. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. You will see the results of that soon, I can promise you that. But I just needed that short time. And with that said, let's start this off with lighting our little candle and taking a beautiful centering breath to arrive in this short and sweet reading for today. So please take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. And let me show you the 3 piles that we have to pick from for today. And these are our 3 beautiful piles to choose from for today. For pile number 1, we have the eucalyptus tree with opportunity. For pile number 2, we have the weeping willow with ego. And for pile number 3, we have the fig tree with nourishment. And the crystal for pile number 1 is this little piece of amethyst. For pile number 2, we have this little piece of amber. And for pile number 3, we have this rainbow fluorite. Wants to focus on all of the faces. Can't blame it, the cards are beautiful. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you and give you about a minute meditation with some music so that you can ground yourself, center, and then see which pile or maybe piles you feel most drawn to. You'll find the timestamps in the description box down below, and I'll see you in your selected piles. If you felt drawn to the beautiful eucalyptus tree with opportunity, welcome to your reading. I'm going to pop your little crystal up here for the moment, and we're gonna see what this card says. Eucalyptus opportunity. Opportunity can show up at the unlikeliest of times. Seizing this opportunity can reap its rewards. Your energy is flowing and running smoothly for this. What steps can you take to facilitate this opportunity? And how can you expose yourself to more opportunities in life? Now we're gonna draw some more cards to sort of bring the message through what this opportunity is about and what's going on for you. we have the card of Starlight. We have the Nine of Challenges. We have the Enchanter's Wheel. And we have the Five of Spells. Let me take a moment and rearrange that. Okay, so for you, my beautiful pile number ones, I'm getting a very strong message that's coming through. And I feel like reading the Nine of Challenges for you, this card here, because the opportunity that's presenting itself to you right now, you may actually right now feel like you don't have any opportunities, and this opportunity that's coming up is of the nature of spiritual development, I will say. So it's not let's say it's not a job offer necessarily coming your way. You know what I mean? It's the opportunity to take advantage of the particular energies that are present right now. I feel like you are in a moment of darkness, and we have here the Starlight, which correlates to the Moon card, and this card speaks about being hopeful for the future. And we have this coming together with the Nine of Challenges, and this is a card, I mean, just when you're looking at this, it's someone who is absolutely frozen in fear and terrified. And I feel like there's an opportunity that you may want to take in the future, and there is some healing work to be done now. So this is more about the opportunity of doing a particular kind of healing work. I guess that's the best way that I can phrase this energy. And it's the opportunity to work through all of these fears. And let me say, because I said you are in a bit of a difficult time, the way that the universe works is, if we're not addressing this kind of fear, or when it first shows up, when we're not really dealing with it, the universe will bring it up again and again and again, and with more and more intensity, in a way to almost force you to deal with this. It's like, hey, you didn't listen to the first few taps that we gave you on your shoulder about this, so now we're bringing in a sledgehammer. And I'm basically getting this sledgehammer image for some of you, that this is the opportunity to work your way through these fears. And I want to read from the guidebook because it describes the energy of this kind of fear that I'm feeling, because I say fear, but it feels like absolute panic. It feels like terror, just pure terror. It feels like a crippling kind of anxiety. And it really feels like whatever you want to do, there is this barrier, and this barrier is in your mind about everything that's surrounding you. Everything. There are a lot of triggers happening right now, and some of you are questioning about your spiritual path. You're questioning where you're going, and you're like, I thought I was aligned, but with everything coming up for me, does that mean I'm not aligned anymore? And that's this kind of question that's coming through. And your spirit team is coming through very strongly to let you know you are on path. And this is exactly why this is coming up. You've done everything correctly, and this is coming up now to clear it out. You also need to remember that whenever something is coming up for you that has a certain kind of intensity, is because you are capable of handling it. So the amount of shit that's going on right now, the amount of panic that you're experiencing, means that you have the capacity to work your way through that as well. Okay, the mind always goes into these stories of telling, like, I'm not capable of handling this, but you are. It's coming up this way. And I also want to say that with the Enchanter's Wheel coming up here, like I said, I will read this in a moment. With the Enchanter's Wheel coming up here, this is a very pivotal point in your journey, and it's basically the wheel is about to turn for you in the near future again, and you have this opportunity right now to basically decide which direction this wheel will turn. If it's going to bring you into a new cycle, which means new feelings, new outcomes, new situations, or and like getting to this space of experiencing the new means that these fears and everything that's kind of coming up to the surface for you recently is something that wants to be alchemized, metabolized. And if you're not doing that, you will experience a similar cycle to the one that you've been in for quite a while. So there's the opportunity now to break this cycle and to hop into a completely new cycle, you know? And this like alchemization work that you are being called to do is what will bring you into this new cycle. Yeah, okay, anyway, but that's why this is happening right now. But let me read from the 9 of Challenges. Lost in the woods, a boy tucks himself as tightly as he can among some tree roots and prays he will be safe until morning. Everything he sees and hears is terrifying to him. He cannot discern between what is a real threat and what is merely unfamiliar. The shining eyes, the creeping feet, the tiny cries. Oh, he should not have come to the woods at night. There's nothing to be done now but wait for daylight. The hours until then crawl by as he trembles helplessly in his inadequate refuge. This card isn't really about danger, it's about fear. It's about the middle of the night terrors when you are helpless to do anything but worry. At such vulnerable times, your fears can start to multiply faster than you can swat them away. The scariest thing in the night forest is the inability to move safely, not knowing what is nearby. You may be feeling fearful because you are unprepared and ill-equipped to handle your challenges. Face reality during the day so you don't need to flee from it at night. Meaning at a glance, fear, nightmare, helplessness, the dark night of the soul. And I want to say that you are not unprepared and you are not ill-equipped. And the reason I'm saying that is there's another card that I didn't show you, but the back of your deck had this energy of the Ace of Spells. And this is a magical ally, basically, that brings you... It's basically... let me rephrase that. It's a magical ally that gives you this beautiful wand that you see here that's infused with the dragon fire from this fire drake. And this magical ally is your companion on this new journey. And this card speaks about having opportunity and having this, wizard staff that already has a lot of power, but that is supercharged with this fire energy right now. And it's up to you how you're using it and what you're doing with it. So it's like you have everything that you need to go on this journey. It's just a matter of working your way through your fears. And like I said, I know this feels really scary. And exactly this kind of fear energy that we picked up with this card is what I felt as well. Actually, I think I'm gonna just maybe pop this down here. I don't know where to place this card. We're gonna place it at the beginning where it belongs. Exactly this kind of feeling of fear with the 9 of Challenges is what I picked up immediately when I pulled your cards. And it's like I said, it's coming up with a lot of force. They're kind of showing me fire, but they're showing me like 2 images. The first image that they're showing me is a wildfire that just runs wild, and it's like everything surrounding this fire hazard is dry, so everything just like goes up in flames. And that's kind of the image that they're showing me about the thought situation, like the situation in your mind right now, where it's like you have already right now you're in a vulnerable place because of life changes, is what I just heard. Certain life changes that you started to make that were, I say where, that are in alignment with you going on this new path. And because of that, everything is kind of new, everything is kind of unfamiliar. You don't really know exactly where you're going. There's this feeling of being lost. And the second image that they're showing me that goes hand in hand with the like wildfire in your mind is an image of being hit by a tsunami. They're showing me an image of like a huge massive wave and like thunderstorm and a tsunami hitting a very quaint little village by the beach, and everything is flooded. And they're showing me this image as sort of a representation of your emotional state. So it's like these two are kind of feeding each other. We have the fire and the water, like the polar opposites, but they are feeding each other. So the mind runs in one kind of spiral, in one kind of circle, and then your emotions, you have emotional reactions to your thoughts, which then, also floods all of your emotions. So it feels very, it feels messy. It feels messy, and I'm really sorry that you're going through that. That's not a nice place to be in. Again, the message is that this is an opportunity. It's coming up with such an intensity because it wants to be released from your system. And then we have the Enchanter's Wheel, and we have the 5 of Spells. And it's interesting that we're ending this with the 5 of Spells, because you see here, this card shows some magical apprentices that are currently honing their craft and working their way at perfecting their craft. And this card speaks about learning from mistakes. It speaks about giving something a good and honest go and trying things out. And if something doesn't work, you can always adjust. I think a lot of your mindscape and this like terror that's coming up has to do with fears about the future and fears about building something new up. And it's like you're already jumping 200 steps ahead and saying, oh my God, but what if at step 199, I could go this way and I could go that way and I take that way and it turns out that that's the wrong way. So I'd rather not start at all. And there's this like fear that's very, you're reaching very far into the future to generate these kinds of fears. When in reality, it's like you take one step and you assess, you make adjustments. You take one step, you assess, you make necessary adjustments. You take one step and you make necessary adjustments. It's, and that's also their advice to you right now, is to shrink your view down a bit more, to focus more on day-by-day actions, on if you want to plan weekly. Don't go a lot higher than that. You can have certain events that you, of course, you need to schedule, etc. That's fine, but you don't need to worry now about a problem that you might or might not have in 3 months. And the reason that I'm also saying that is, remember when I spoke about the Enchanter's Wheel and I said that the wheel is about to turn for you and you are right now in this moment of kind of like guiding the journey, like are you going to go on a different cycle, and also which kind of different cycle are you going on. Because of that, doing any type of big future planning right now for you is very difficult, because you cannot take the current experiences that you're having or the experiences that you have had and take them as your measure points for what might happen or might not happen in the future. They're like really wanting to draw your attention into the present moment right now. What's going on? Stay focused on the present moment, stay focused on today, stay focused on this hour, stay focused on this minute. Like bring it down a notch. And don't worry too much about what's happening then. And when you're having crippling anxiety, saying, don't worry about what's happening then, sounds like, okay, good advice, thanks. I did not think about that myself. Kind of like that. And alongside what I just said of bringing your focus, like each time that you're noticing your mind wandering, bringing it further down, start to employ other tools that can help you bring your body down, bring your mind down. And I said body, bring your attention down into your body. You can work with the breath work is something that helps really, really well to physiologically calm the body down, which also then calms down the mind. That's something that you can do. You can work with any kind of healthcare professional that is specialized in dealing with anxiety, be that a therapist or some kind of coach, whatever. You can work with some hypnosis on creating more calm in your subconscious mind and handle with that. Actually, they're bringing one sleep hypnosis to my attention right now. I will pop it in the description box down for you. It's a sleep hypnosis to help with anxiety. And you can do all of these different things as well when you're sleeping, and having some affirmations on that will help you feel more trust in yourself, in the world, etc. All of these little tools at the end will add up. So start to employ like a couple of more tools so that you're not, it's kind of the equivalent of when they're showing me the massive wave, it's kind of the equivalent of everyone evacuating the village at the right time, and then having the means to rebuild afterwards, or building a massive kind of dam or a massive kind of system to just block the wave so that maybe only a few splashes come into the village, It's that kind of like the preventative measurements that you can also adjust here. Let me see if anything else wanting to come through. No, I just heard no. Okay. So anyway, that's it for this week's reading. It felt a bit all over the place, kind of like the energy that I picked up from. Sorry about that. And the only thing left for me to say is that there will be 2 extra resources coming your way this week. One will be an EFT tapping session that could help you through this. Again, I haven't seen the other 2 piles, so I don't know about the topic just yet. But in general, I feel like some calming would be necessary right now for all of us. And the second one will be a 30-minute Reiki treatment to support you through this as well. You'll find it in the description box or pinned comment down below if it's out already. And that's all I have for you today. Take care of yourself. You got this. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye. If you felt drawn to the beautiful Weeping Willow card with Ego, welcome to your reading. Pop your crystal up here for a moment and let's look at this and read. Actually, I have the Weeping Willow with Ego. Your ego can sneak up right behind you when you least expect it and play up. Consider if you are acting in ways that you know deep down are not for your best benefit. Are you feeling special or lacking in some way? Are you being hijacked by your own ego? We're going to look straight away at... by the way, I just, my attention just got drawn to the heart that's present in this card here. And I actually, when I pulled your cards as well, I already heard the topic that we're going to speak about today, because we're going to speak about your scarcity mindset. With that said, let me pull the other cards so we can see and pull your messages together. We have the 5 of Boons. We have the Child of Spells. We have the Council of Animals. And we have the 3 of Challenges. Okay. Let me rearrange this a bit. Okay, so the message that I'm getting is basically you have been running up against the same wall over and over and over and over again. And it's like you don't fully understand why something has failed again and again and again for you. And I feel like this, like it's different for you. I feel like for some of you, we're talking about romantic relationships. And for some of you, you've been trying to get your job situation sorted out, and it's like you've been super enthusiastic going into something new, and then you've been hitting the same wall kind of on an emotional level that you did with your previous job, when you were like, no, this company's better, the people here are better, and I will be treated better, and turns out you didn't. And it's that kind of like running up against the same wall that I'm getting here as a message. And like I said, when I pulled these cards, I heard the words like scarcity mindset. We're going to talk about scarcity mindset. And let me start this off with the Five of Boons, because this is the card that speaks about scarcity mindset. When you look at this card, really, you see that there are two people sitting out here and sharing some little crumbs. But you also see that there is a path leading all the way back to this warm and cozy hut back there. You also see that surrounding them, actually, you see they're trying to share some food here. You see that surrounding them are a lot of strawberries that are actually magical strawberries because winter, but they are in like ripe for the taking, and they don't see it. They don't look at it. They can't perceive it. They don't see it. They also don't turn around and like look at this hut that's there. They just don't see it. And there's this feeling of being a bit caught up in this kind of scarcity mindset, where it's like you see all of these ripe strawberries, like they're there for you for the taking, and as much as the strawberries are there, there's also like this like cozy place for you to be, this like warm hut, like everything is a representation of like whatever you want to reach for, whatever you're always trying to reach for, it's right there. And you don't see that there actually is a path, like a direct path to it. And this is, and this is coming together with the Child of Spells. And the Child of Spells is an energy that, so basically this child went into the woods with this wizard staff, because, you know, they want to be a wizard, and they're learning and starting to practice, and they want to enchant this rabbit and turn this rabbit into something else. And you see here, there's sort of this enthusiasm and this idea of being like, okay, let's just go, let's just give it a shot, let's just give it a go, and like hoping for the best. It's this kind of enthusiasm and energy, and it's being met with the Council of Animals, which is the equivalent of the Judgment card, and it sort of speaks about this attempt of yours being met with a particular kind of judgment. And in this instance, it's not a positive kind of judgment, because we have this with the Three of Challenges. Because you see here the Three of Challenges, when you look at this card, you see that there is a man there and there are two kids back there. And this speaks about a man, a very, very poor man actually, who left his kids out in the woods and runs away because he can't feed them anymore. He just can't feed them anymore, and he cannot handle watching them starve in front of his eyes, so he abandons them in the woods instead, you know, because these woods, it's very easy, just look at them, it's very easy to get lost there, and it's easy to get lost, which also means it's easy to dispose of certain things there. So, and this card also carries, because the kids are just standing there, you know, they're very trustworthy, and this card carries an energy of betrayal. And, oh, that was just my phone just now. Interesting. Anyway. Remember how I said my phone buzzed just now, and usually it's in flight mode, but I guess I forgot, and I'm gonna want to show you something, because I do have an app that has affirmations on it, and I want to show you the affirmation that just popped up. Oh, that looks horrible. I'm really sorry I can't show it to you like this, but I can read it to you, because this affirmation says, I stand up for myself when I feel disrespected. I stand up for myself when I feel disrespected. And remember, this is so fitting. Wow, it's nice. That never happens ever. It's this energy of betrayal that I picked up on. Remember how I said, you're like, okay, no, this time it's going to be different. This time it's going to be different. And it's like this childlike enthusiasm of being like, I can go ahead and give it a shot, and I can do this. And then you're met with this reality and the assessment of the whole situation. And what turns out is no. Like, there's this betrayal, and it's this kind of energy. And the Council of Animals also being here is sort of, like I said, it has this judgment energy. And it's coming through into your reading because it's time for you to reassess why this is happening. Like this root of this kind of pattern. And you not fully understanding this. Remember, we also have the ego card being here, and the ego needs to be looked at. What I mean by that is you keep running up against the same wall because somewhere in your system, and it's in your ego mind, is this belief that that is what you are deserving of. On some level, there is a limiting belief that keeps you in this cycle. Your job is to find this belief that tells you that you deserve only this, when in reality you deserve the strawberries and you deserve this super cozy warm hut to just be in your own abundance, be your abundant self, because you are abundant. It's just your mind has heard certain, or you have had certain experiences that have created certain limiting beliefs surrounding this idea of abundance and surrounding what you are deserving of. And again, my view was massively drawn to the heart here. And I just heard the word feeling. Have you suffered from a massive betrayal in your life that predates all the other ones that you've experienced? There's one core memory or one core experience that's triggered this kind of cycle. And you need to go into this core memory and bring healing to this core memory. Because that's it. That's at the root cause of you running up against the same wall over and over again. Is this one experience, and I can't get information on what this experience is. I can't even get. This is a collective reading, and that's why it just means that it's so diverse for all of you. The reasons for where this limiting belief of what you are deserving of comes from. But you need to go back to this. You need to revisit that. And also, with the ego card being present here, remember this ego card said, are you acting in ways that are not beneficial for you or that are not fully supporting you? Whenever you're doing that, whenever you're catching yourself acting in some kind of way that's not really beneficial for you, that's founded in this scarcity mindset. Start writing it down. Start writing down and journaling on this. What actions are you taking that are not beneficial for you? What situations are they showing up in? And what feelings are related and connected to that? And then start releasing that. There are so many different ways to release that. One thing that I will bring up is EFT tapping. And whatever feeling is coming up for you, go on YouTube. I mean, if you can't see a practitioner, of course see a practitioner, but go on YouTube and look up EFT tapping or tapping and whatever feeling that you're experiencing or any of that sort. Start releasing it from your system, from your body. That's the biggest message. And what's happening? I just turned this off. I got another one for you. That's so funny. So the other affirmation that's present here is, I'm confident that my difficult days are ending and I'm finding joy again. So this is the last message from your spirit team, from your spirit team, that you are able to break out of this cycle, this scarcity, like you're able to not run at the same wall again, but you need to address this kind of scarcity mindset, which, granted, very difficult at the time that we're in with everything happening in the world right now. But that's the message that I have for you today, my beautiful pile number 2s. Connected to today's topic will also be 2 extra resources coming your way. The first one will be an EFT tapping session, a short one, and the second one will be a 30-minute Reiki treatment. You'll find it in the description box down below, and also in the pinned comment if it's out already. And that's all I have for you today. Have a beautiful rest of your day today. Bye. If you felt drawn to the fig and nourishment, welcome to your reading. And let's first of all take a moment and look at this card. So you see we have actually all of the figs up here. We have this like beautiful like red color highlighted, and red is always connected to the root chakra. We have the green, so the heart, and we have a little bit of orange in there, so sacral, so a little bit of emotions. And let's actually read the cards. Fig nourishment. Combat feelings of emptiness by generating your own soul food. What do you really want right now? Expressing your needs will provide the desired energy needed to move forward. With that said, let's pull your other cards to get a bit more of a message. And for you, we have... With that said, let's pull some more of your cards to fully pull the message together. We have the 3 of Boons. We have the 10 of Boons. We have the 6 of Boons. And then we have 2 more, but they sort of came out together as one message. We have the 5 of Visions. And we have the Seeker of Challenges. So I'm going to put those actually like this. Let me take a moment and rearrange that. I'm very strongly hearing the word loneliness. Loneliness, feeling lonely for you. These cards are actually telling us a bit about your story, and we're going to start this off with the 3 of Boons. And I'm getting this image with the 3 of Boons here. I mean, just look at the card. Like, she is brewing up a potion right now, and she has some help in the back and someone else in the front that's writing down specific ingredients, because, you know, they're creating this potion for the first time. It's not something that has ever been created before, so they need to be very diligent with their bookkeeping and making sure that if they want to recreate it at some point, they can. That's kind of the image that this card brings up, and it's like you have been carefully crafting a specific kind of social group for yourself, and you have been very careful with the people that you put in there. And you know, you've tried to write down ingredients of what you need, what is necessary, etc. And we have the 10 of Boons here, and it's like, when you just look at them, they all look really, really nice, really, really nice people. The energy that this card speaks of is basically, it's a wanderer that is going through the woods and feels a little bit, not necessarily lost, but they would like to have some company, and they happen to stumble upon this kind of establishment with all of the people, and they're invited in. You see down here is the dog, which stands for loyalty, and they're invited in not as a guest to join, but basically immediately getting adopted as one of their own, you know, like a very, very dear friend being part of a specific community. And I feel like you have been very carefully crafting away at your social circle, and your social circle that you have been crafting has recently fallen apart or is in the process of falling apart, because immediately like you sort of felt comfortable there, and it recently, or like I said, is in the process of falling apart. Because we're met with the Six of Boons here, which speaks about this woman that is in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the night. She ran away from home, and you see it's winter here. She's not dressed appropriately. She doesn't even have shoes. And like all of a sudden, all of these rabbits are showing up to show her some warmth, you know? It's like the rabbits are a representation of your spirit team, basically, coming in to bring some warmth. And what's standing in the way between like this sort of like warm group and you running away and feeling left out in the cold is actually the nourishment. I feel like your social groups have been or are falling apart because you are no longer nourished. You no longer feel nourished there at a soul level. What I mean by that is you have developed in very specific ways and they have developed in very specific ways. I feel like for some of them, they don't want to develop in more healthier ways, is what I just heard. Some of the people in this group, of course. And you simply outgrew them. You've outgrown them. Your interests have changed, and because of that, your soul needs a different kind of nourishment in order to feel that kind of energy. And the social group that you have, like, you don't feel this kind of energy there anymore. And it's not because the people are bad people. It's not about that. It's more so that you are requiring a different kind of environment for yourself now, and because of that you have chosen to step away from that. And there is this feeling of regret present. There's this feeling of regret present of stepping away from that old kind of circle. Regret, because now you feel this like a loneliness that you haven't experienced before. And by the way, this loneliness is, or the fear of loneliness, or this it's not, I mean, for some of you it is like a stronger fear, but for most of you I feel like it's more the discomfort of loneliness and not wanting to experience that. And because of that, you have been holding on to this group for far longer that has been beneficial for you. Like, you knew that it wasn't nourishing your soul anymore, but you didn't want to step away from that, and something happened that you decided, okay, it's actually time now. There was something that revealed it to you. It's time for you to go. And you feel this regret. And I see this regret here with the Five of Visions, because you see here we have her running after a golden ball that's fallen in the water. And it's literally this feeling of, oh my God, no, I dropped the ball. I totally dropped the ball. I dropped the ball so hard. It's this feeling. And I mean, even in this image, like, you know, we all know how this kind of story goes, or how this story goes. She drops the ball and she's like, oh my God, no, I dropped the ball, and is very, very distraught over the fact that this ball is now in the water at the bottom of the lake. But she doesn't recognize that this frog is actually there to bring the ball back up again for her, you know? So it's basically your spirit team coming through to let you know that, okay, you may feel like you dropped the ball, but you really didn't. The thing that we're going to bring up from the surface, from the bottom for you, is going to be so much better than what you had. And with the Seeker of Challenges, when you look at the card as well, you see that there is a path here and you can't pass. Like, you can't go through that path. It's not possible. It's impossible to walk through that because of this knight that's standing here. And this knight does not have good intentions either, you know. He's like properly blocking off the path. And it's like the spirit team has two messages for you about this. The first one is, you can't go back. There is no way back for you. You can't go back to them. It's not It's not possible for you, and it's also not going to feel good for you. And the path is blocked for a very specific reason, and it's because you are no longer nourished there in the way that you need to for your soul growth, for your own growth. It's no longer, it didn't fit for you anymore. So you didn't drop the ball, and you're not going to drop the ball. Like whatever is going to happen next or has happened for you already, because you're at different points of this like social circle crumbling, it's for your best. And it's much like here, all you can see is everything crumbling. You don't see what's next. You don't see that there's the frog there. You don't know that he's going to be the one to bring you something even better. You don't know he's going to help you out and reward you. You don't know how beautiful your life is going to turn out. You're in the moment of seeing this ball dropping, and your spirit team always has this perspective of being this frog and seeing what's next. So there's basically like this comforting message of this let me move that over. It's basically this comforting message of this pain that you're experiencing about this social circle crumbling is temporary, and it's for the best. And the advice for you is written on this nourishment card. Remember how it said to nourish your soul? You do have a lot of new interests, and a lot of interests that, like I said, cannot be fulfilled by your old circle. Start nourishing those interests by yourself. Buy yourself a book about this. Do some research on YouTube. Read articles about this. See if you can join some online communities with people that are interested in what you're interested in. There's so many new ways for you to connect, and so many more people waiting for you. Because once again, like, you are this potion brewer, and you going through that, don't worry about it. You're already in the process of brewing up this new recipe for these new people, and these new people will once again welcome you in very warmly, and they will nourish your soul. You know, it's part of a cycle. And by the way, it's painful when all of them are falling away. I completely understand that. I've been through that many times myself. But you know what else? It's an indicator of how much you have actually grown and how much good work you've been putting in yourself and in your development. Because if you would not have elevated yourself, and if you would not have grown so much, and the growth is positive for you, you would still fit in this old place. And I know it's really painful, and sometimes we wish that we could still fit there, and we try to sort of rein ourselves in and be like, you know, I really like these people, and I know it doesn't really fit, and I don't really get the same feeling that I did before, and I know it's not really, like, there's so many topics I want to talk about, and I can't really talk about it with them anymore, because, you know, they don't get it, they just don't get it, they don't get me anymore. There's this like a comfort blanket when you're a child, you know, that kind of energy. But also eventually you kind of outgrow that. Even if you are an adult and you still have one of your plushies when you were a kid, or your blanket, and, you know, maybe you're moving around and you're taking it with you, it's kind of similar this way. It will no longer be your primary source of comfort and your primary way of keeping warm, or keeping yourself comforted. But it doesn't mean that it's no longer in your life at all. For some of you, this can completely break away, but you will always have the warm memories, and the people that you were with at this time, they are also part of the reason why you've grown so much. You know, they were catalysts for you. You were helping each other grow in specific ways, and you triggered specific, for some of you, they triggered specific wounds for you, which, you know, helped you reassess, change, grow, the conversations that you've had about specific topics, the different experiences and perspectives that you've had. Like, all of these were coming together to help you grow through this stage of your life and you have leveled up in that way, you know, and it's time for a new group of people to kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for here? To kind of stimulate you in all of the right ways, you know, new perspectives and different kinds of wounds, etc., like coming together like a puzzle piece. And it's basically this puzzle. And like, you know, the past picture for you is clear, and this friend group or the social circle was your old, like the part of the puzzle that is already connected in, like the whole line, everything's connected in, and it's time for this new to come in. You know, so that's basically, they want to bring you a lot of comfort. You've not dropped the ball. You've done nothing wrong. This path will be blocked off completely for you, and it's for your highest good. Your guides are there for you. So if you want to connect to them in any way, if that's maybe something that you might be interested in exploring a bit deeper, like they're there for you, and they're here to keep you warm as you're going through this. Because again, there is a new circle coming your way. This is temporary. Okay, that's all I heard for you for today. My beautiful pile number 3s. There will be 2 extra resources coming your way this week. The first one will be an EFT tapping session to help you release any kinds of feelings. We have 3 very different piles, so I'm not sure which kind of topic I will tap on yet, but it will be something soothing because I feel like all of us need that right now. It's really intense. And the second one will be a 30-minute Reiki treatment coming your way as well to help you and support you through this kind of journey that you're on right now. If it's not already, you will find it in the description box, but also in the pinned comment down below. And that's all I have for you. Have a beautiful rest of your day today. Bye.